In the heart of an old urban district stood a forgotten plaza with cracked tile patterns and faded brickwork. Most locals hurried past it, but 12-year-old Lena noticed something strange one evening. A thin laser beam shot straight from the center of the plaza into the sky, like a glowing column of light. Curious, Lena approached. The beam hummed softly as if calling her. When she touched it, the ground shook. The tiles rearranged themselves into a perfect circle, and a stone pillar rose from beneath. On the pillar was a carved map, pointing to the periphery, far beyond the comfortable streets of downtown. Lena's adventure had begun. Following the map, Lena reached an abandoned studio once used by an eccentric columnist who wrote about unexplained architecture. Dusty journals described secret tunnels, vaulted rooms, and arched passageways hidden beneath the city. Inside, Lena felt the air tighten, almost airtight. Then she saw it, a giant metal vault door glowing faintly. She pressed a rusted lever and the door opened with a groan. Behind it stretched a spacious stone hall with a high ceiling and carvings of cranes, scaffolds, and ancient machines. A cold wind radiated from deeper inside, brushing her hair as though urging her to continue. After a twisting path, Lena found a strange underground parlor furnished like a cozy room. A long wooden bench sat beside a warm fireplace, complete with a radiator buzzing softly. Yet no one lived here. She examined a dusty cabinet and found a metal key shaped like a crescent moon. A note lay beneath it. To reach the floating castle, unlock the balcony of shadows. But what did that mean? Suddenly, a soft rumble echoed through the cave, like gears grinding after years of malfunction. Lena clutched the key and ran onward. After what felt like an hour, Lena stepped into an open cavern where an elevated stone balcony overlooked a massive underground lake. Above the lake was a shimmering void, an empty expanse where the ceiling should have been. Something, or somewhere, was hidden there. She saw a small booth perched beside the balcony. Inside, a mechanical crane hung from a hook attached to a rope bridge. A sign read, "Insert key to activate suspension." With trembling fingers, Lena inserted the crescent key. The rope bridge jolted as the crane lifted her into the shimmering void, carrying her upward like a passenger between worlds. The haze cleared. Lena gasped. A floating castle, huge, elegant, suspended above nothing, glowed under golden light. Its walls were a mixture of brick, polished stone, and crystal arches. A wide terrace wrapped around the front, decorated with statues and hanging lanterns. At the entrance was a grand reception hall, complete with velvet carpet, a mahogany desk, and even a guest lobby. It looked like a magical hotel, but no guests, only silence. As she walked through the lobby, she wondered if every floating castle needed a lobbyist, someone to persuade people it actually existed. Lena wandered through rooms that defied logic. A lavatory with no pipes, a toilet that flushed upward, and a basin that filled with water from glowing runes. A bath that produced floating bubbles shaped like tiny planets. A balcony where the wind hummed like music. Everything was enchanting. But one room stood out. A reservoir chamber filled not with water, but light. Endless beams of swirling color spun like galaxies. A stone plaque read, "Light is the fuel. Protect the reservoir from those who would maltreat its power." Lena swallowed. Someone else might be searching for this castle. Someone dangerous. As Lena stepped onto the back terrace, she sensed movement in the vicinity. Something shifted along the eaves of the structure. A shadow crawled down the side of the roof. Then, it landed in front of her. It looked like a mix between a lynx and a hawk, with crystal feathers and glowing paws. Its amber eyes studied her carefully, not hostile, but calculating. "You're not from the urbanized world above," it spoke, its voice like wind chimes. "Why have you come?" Lena took a step back but steadied her breath. "I found the map. I just wanted to understand." The creature tilted its head. "Most who come seek power. They attempt to control the reservoir, to force expansion, not understanding its danger." It moved closer. "But your heart is different." The creature led Lena into the central chamber, a breathtaking expanse of luminous pillars and arches. "This castle," the creature explained, "was built by ancient architects who wished to reserve the energy of light, storing it safely away from those who would exploit it." "So the reservoir is a battery for the world?" "More than that," the creature replied. "It stabilizes balance. If drained, cities would collapse, the periphery would fall into darkness, and the world would forget harmony." Lena nodded slowly. Everything was bigger than she imagined. Then the ground trembled. A rope snapped. A distant pole crashed. Someone else had entered the castle. A figure burst in. Mr. Galrin, the greedy owner of a huge complex of casinos downtown. Lena had seen him before, arguing with architects, pushing for bigger buildings, larger expansion, more construction, more profit. He glared at Lena. "So you're the one who got here first." Galrin pulled a metallic box from his coat. "The reservoir's energy will power every studio, every casino, every light in my empire. Why store it? Why keep it hidden?" The creature hissed. "Because it is not yours." Galrin ignored the warning and grabbed a control lever, yanking it down. The castle groaned, lights dimmed. Beams flickered like dying stars. The reservoir was being forced open. Without thinking, Lena jumped toward the machine. The platform shook violently as Galrin lost balance. Lena seized the lever and pushed it back up with all her strength. The glowing chamber snapped shut. A surge of light blasted out, knocking Galrin backward and suspending him mid-air like a puppet on an invisible string. The castle stabilized. Slowly, the creature approached Lena. "You saved the balance," it said gently. "You are worthy of the architect's trust." Before Lena could reply, the creature touched her forehead with a glowing feather. The entire castle shimmered. When Lena opened her eyes, she was standing in the old plaza again. No laser, no pillar, no floating castle above. Only stillness. But when she looked closer, she noticed something new. The pattern of the tiles had changed into the shape of a rising sun, the same icon from the ancient door. She smiled. Maybe the floating castle had vanished, or maybe it was still watching, guarding the world quietly, waiting for the next curious soul who refused to maltreat the power of light. Either way, Lena knew one thing. Her city felt a little brighter now, and somewhere far above the vicinity, the floating castle drifted silently across the sky, held aloft by light, balance, and the courage of one brave girl.